Yeah, I'll do that again. Hey guys. All right, so it's actually been about several weeks now since I came back from my big birthday bash at Walt Disney World. And considering that I'm still not quite over the fact that my trip is over, I figured, you know what? Why not work on one of the amazing puzzles that I picked up whilst I was there? So in this one, we are going to be working on a Disney signature puzzle. It's called Walt Disney World 4 Parks, 1 World by Thomas Kinkade Studios. It is 1,000 pieces and it's 27 by 19 inches when it's completed. Now, as soon as I saw this puzzle at the store, I was like immediately like, yes, this is the one. Because this is absolute perfection to me. We've got each of the 4 park icons. Like, I can't help but see myself sat on this bench watching Mickey and Minnie eat ice cream. And I don't care how creepy that sounds. But anyways, one of the things that I am pretty much most interested in with putting this image together is really experiencing what this quality is like. Because I have worked on Disney signature puzzles in the past. And I am not the biggest fan of them. I mean, not just the Disney signature puzzle, but any Disney branded puzzle. And this is an official Disney branded puzzle. The pieces were very thin. They didn't hold very well together. It just wasn't the most ideal situation. I'll put it that way. And the thing that I noticed with those is that those are made in China. But with this puzzle, this is actually made in the Netherlands. And the experiences that I've had with puzzles made in the Netherlands they've all been amazing in terms of fit, hold, the piece quality, the thickness, the print, like everything about it has just been absolutely incredible. So I'm really, really hoping with these new Disney puzzles that are made in the Netherlands, I hope it's going to be the same. Because if that's the case, putting that kind of quality and overall puzzling experience together with a Disney image, like that's just, I don't know, my head might explode, I don't know. And these are $29.99, which are a little bit more expensive than what I paid for the Made in China Disney signature puzzles in the past. So I'm hoping that's another sign of, you know, a difference in the overall quality and experience. But we shall see, right? I mean, I'm never gonna find out if I don't shut up and finally open this up. So you know what? Let's get into this and let's see what we are going to be dealing with here. All right, so let's finally get into this. Now, this does have 2 pieces of tape on 2 sides here. So let's very carefully cut this open and hopefully I don't, you know, damage the box like last time. All right, that was easy enough. Let's get this open. Oh, this is like a little brown paper twine here. This is probably, what could this be? I have a feeling this might be a reference image. That'll be new because Disney puzzles never had reference images. It does now. I am blown away. Finally, Disney's putting reference images inside their boxes. I mean, at least with the signature puzzle here, but look at this. I'm shocked. I mean, it's not humongous, but hey, it's better than nothing. And I love how he had it wrapped up. It's kind of like very, very tightly wrapped, but this is fantastic. Oh my goodness, this is promising, guys. We've never had that before. We have our puzzle pieces here in like a paper bag. I'm guessing this is like a compostable bag, not plastic, which is interesting. Very crinkly bag. It makes a lot of noise. Let's get this opened. Felt like I was opening a bag of chips there, but yeah, this is extremely different. Like the previous Disney branded puzzles I've tried in the past were almost like a plasticky feel to them, even though they weren't plastic pieces, but they felt very lightweight, very different material. This is a thicker, like cardboard. This is a very, very sharp print. The colors look very bold. Like that blue is just popping. You can't really tell from the camera, but I mean, this looks fantastic. fantastic. In terms of sharpness, just look how sharp those letters are. Look at Mickey's mouth. Super sharp. You know what I love? This side note. The back of the puzzle piece has got like Mickey heads all over it. Now I'm dropping pieces everywhere. The pieces feel very strong. We got a nice thickness here. I would say I would go get the calipers, but I don't think they still have batteries in them, so I can't give you a measurement of the thickness here. Now we do have a bit of glare here, but it's interesting because it's like, it doesn't seem like the pieces have a glossy finish to them, but in the light they do have a bit of a sheen. But overall, I mean, this is really exciting. You know what? Let me grab one of the other old signature puzzle pieces. Correction, not a signature puzzle. I mean, all the Disney branded puzzles in the past were exactly the same, so I'm just gonna bring one of these, you know, play in the park ones that are official Disney branded puzzles so that you can kind of see the difference here in terms of like what I'm talking about. So this here is one of the old made in China Disney branded puzzle pieces. They're very thin. They have the white backing to them. Super, super glossy. Sorry if the camera wasn't focusing at first, but you can see this is the new signature puzzle pieces from the Netherlands, and this is the made in China ones. The China ones are much thinner. The ones in the Netherlands are much thicker piece. They're about, I would say, maybe a tad smaller than the ones made in China. Now the ones from the past they did still feel strong, but these definitely feel much more sturdy. Of course, the big question here is, and we're not going to know till later, is the overall fit and hold. If these pieces hold well together, as I said, my head is going to explode. This is too exciting. You know what, guys? I don't even want to talk anymore about this. I just want to get started and get this puzzle going. So you know what? Let's go do that. I really wish it was already the time of year where I still had sunlight at this time of day. But anyways, hopefully you can see, you know, with my poor lighting, the colors or what I've done here. But anyways, let's get started. This tray is the edge pieces. We have here any pieces that I believe had to do with the sky, and I probably have some of the path as well. So it's going to be any of these pieces, and probably some of these are mixed in there as well. Some of them were a little hard to, you know, differentiate between. But anyways, this tray is for the park icons and Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto. So I did do my best to try to like put it in little piles, but we have, yep, Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto. We have the castle, you know, Spaceship Earth, the tree, and we have Hollywood Studios. And as I said, they're in little piles. It's gonna need resorting, but anyways, it's got a little head start there. In this tray, I have, there's a mix of colors, but I believe it's pieces for anything that have to do with like the bottom of the puzzle. So there's gonna be some path pieces. We're gonna have my bench here that I'm sitting on, some of these little trees, the water, and any of these plants and flowers and whatnot. So that's this tray here. This one is just very, very dark pieces. There's like shades of dark green, brown, black. It's all darks, as you can see. And it's probably gonna have some of this in there as well. But as you can see here, there's some areas that are very dark in the image, and I'm pretty sure that's what they are. I mean, that seems like a lot considering what I've just pointed at, but anyways, we'll get to that later on. This tray is not much, but I don't know, I kind of felt like anything that had a red tone to them had to go in a tray. I don't know, that was just what I thought at the time. So it's probably gonna be anything like this, probably gonna have some pieces from this area. As I said, anything with like reddish tones to it. And then lastly, this tray is a pretty big pile as well. But this is like greens, flowers, so it's like the leaves, different plant life. So we're probably gonna have some of this area in that tray, and definitely any other plant life as well. I do know I have some plant pieces in some of the other trays, but that's okay. Definitely gonna need to resort this later on, but yeah, that's what I've done here. And it was definitely one of those instances where I thought, like, yes, I have a plan for this. I know what I'm doing when it comes to the initial sort. And then when I got into it, I was blank. But then I got in the groove and got it done. It didn't take me too long, probably about 20 or so minutes. But anyways, let's move on with this.
So I pieced together the frame and quickly went to resorting the tray with the park icons and friends into their own piles. Those were the areas I was most looking forward to seeing take shape before me. And as these beautiful icons came together, I couldn't help but relive the memories of my recent trip to Walt Disney World. I knew that from the haul I brought back, this puzzle was going to be the one I popped open first. I would do anything to be at my happy place again, but for now, this will do.
There's nothing like doing a Disney puzzle, at least to me. But yeah, so far so good. Now, when it came to piecing the castle together, I did something that I normally leave towards the end of the puzzle, and that was resorting by shape. So after I set aside the different piles for each park icon, and once I got Spaceship Earth and Hollywood Tower together, the castle I figured was going to probably be one of the more challenging areas to piece together. And once I had this pile set aside, I resorted it by shape. And I lined up the pieces according to how they would sit on the image. And doing that actually helped me get this part done really fast, because it was just much easier to see, the detail within the piece. Am I going to do that again, for the other sections of the puzzle? I don't know. As I said, that's usually something I leave towards the end, but I figured I'd try something different, and it worked out. So, I don't know. We'll see. I do know of all the park icons, the tree from Animal Kingdom is going to be the hardest. So, I don't know. That might be one of the last areas that I work on. But anyways, we got the path done. That wasn't too bad. We got my best friends here. Let's just continue on piecing the rest of this together. I feel like I'm getting more towards the more challenging areas of the image, so we'll see. Still got these two trays here with the most pile of pieces in them, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go about resorting this by color tones and then maybe work by shape, but the sky is more of a gradient look, as you can see, so I'll probably, have this area set aside in a pile, that one set aside in a pile. Try not to look at that, I'm very bad at trees. But anyways, let's move on. All right, I told myself I was gonna be good with this one and not make a mess, but of course I did. So yeah, this area is full of pieces that, kind of piled up here to go in this area, but I should probably move them over just so that I can actually piece it together. I did get started on the tree though, which was surprising for myself, because I was going to wait till later on to do that, but it actually turned out to be a little easier than I thought. Not that easy, but better than I thought. But yeah, I'm going to clean this up a bit, move that down here because I believe this goes more this way. Do some more resorting. I have some areas coming together in these trays, and yeah, let's see how much longer this will take me. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I could never, or sometimes I just can't tell the difference between these two shapes. I don't know if they go this way or if some of them go this way. I don't know. This is probably wrong, but that's okay, because I got kind of the same idea going on here. They're probably all the same shape, but I guess it just depends how they sit on the image, or whatever. I'm rambling now. But anyways, I'm starting to resort by shape again for the last pieces that I have between the plant tray and the dark piece tray. I still have all these up here that I might maybe just move to the side here, since they're more just plain pieces. And then after that, what I want to do is start resorting the sky tray by color tones. And then after that, maybe resorted by shape. I don't know yet, because I haven't really done anything with the sky. It would help if I, take this off so you can see. But the bottom, half of the puzzle is pretty much done. So all we have left here is the rest of the tree, which of course is the hardest part with all the leaves and all that. And then the sky, and yeah, this is gorgeous. I love this. And I feel like I'm gonna be sad when this is done, but that's okay because I have more where this came from. So let's finish this up.
Resorting those final trays really helped me get through those challenging areas way quicker than I expected. But I can't put into words how much I truly enjoyed this puzzle. Not only was the image absolute perfection, but the overall quality was nothing like what I experienced in the past with this brand. At times, it even reminded me of working on my Schmidt puzzles, and those were some of the best Disney puzzle image experiences I've ever had. That kind of felt like a mouthful, but anyways, this puzzle took me about 5 hours to complete. It didn't really feel like it took me that long to get the last piece in, and when I did, I finally sat on my bench and savored the view of these magical park icons before me. Then of course I joined Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto for some ice cream sundaes. But anyways, what makes this Disney puzzle so different from my previous ones?
All right, let's talk about this. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I just couldn't wait to get into one of these Disney puzzles. Because aside from the fact that it's obviously a Disney puzzle, these new ones are produced in the Netherlands. The previous ones were produced in China, and that's all I've ever worked on with Disney branded puzzles. You know, my brain was thinking, well, there has to be differences, and I am very happy to say that there absolutely were. Both have a great print, it's sharp, and the colors are very true to the box image, and depending on your light source, they both do have glare, but do know that the newer puzzles, the ones from the Netherlands, do not suffer as much with it. It was only a little bit at times. You still have a good piece size and some different shapes, and the pieces are cut very well and pop together very smoothly. But the biggest thing to me that really set them apart was the hold. I remember suffering with very crumbly experiences with the Disney puzzles from the past, and I think that was mainly because of how thin they were. There was just no such thing as a hold. But with this one, you've got a thicker puzzle piece, so the hold was there. I mean, I was able to pick up sections, move them about, and it didn't fall apart. No fighting with crumbliness. And if you're super careful and not a beast like me, it can pass the pickup test. I mean, that alone, for me, is a huge difference. And it made the overall puzzling experience way more enjoyable. That's just a really big deal to me. I hate crumbly puzzles. And the fact that Disney has changed it, or at least are starting to change some of where their puzzles are made, that's just extremely exciting. And in terms of packaging, not only is the box sturdier and just feels of a much better quality, but they're actually now including a reference image. They've never included that, at least to my knowledge. I've never opened a Disney branded puzzle and found a reference image inside, but you let me know if I'm crazy or not. So I really do hope Disney continues to have their puzzles produced in the Netherlands, because it was definitely so much better in my opinion. There is just nothing better than piecing together a fantastic, beautiful Disney image and having the actual piecing together experience also be fantastic. And quite honestly, the price tag at $29.99, I mean, I don't mind spending it. You pick them up at the parks or the Disney World resorts and whatnot, and that alone is just very exciting to me. And these are exclusive images. You can only find these at the Disney parks or the resort area. So $29.99? Yeah, I'll do that again. And I did actually. I have I bought 2-3 more puzzles. Yeah, those will be coming soon. This is just very exciting developments in the Disney world of things. So if you have a chance to pick one of these up at some point, I highly recommend it. But do let me know if you have already picked one of these up and you've already tried it. And I want to know, was your experience the same as mine? Was it even better? Was it absolutely terrible and you think I'm speaking a lot of garbage? I mean, if you feel that way, that's okay. I know I can ramble on and on sometimes about absolutely nothing, but that's okay too. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all having some fun puzzling adventures. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.